On the Spirit side, BOB, you've got Varian, Volek, Zalgus, Buglord Flynn, and of course, King of Mass as well. So Arborist, can he make it 3-0? Can he do it?
Well, here's the thing about BOB, about Bob. They have really good, solid players all around, especially in their tactician positions. 50 Shades of Alpha, one of the best tactician players in the game. Him on King of Masks is terrifying. Watching him flourish in and out is a work of art. It is a thing of beauty. I mean, it is fluid. It is elegant watching him just basically understand that shaper in and out. So, and Arborist, like we said earlier, I mean, he is the bug lord. He really understands how to take advantage of that shaper, especially with the armor shred. I anticipate him him and Tulse having a lot of communication, setting up those targets, and just blowing people up in short order.
Yeah, I mean, but okay. There is decent initiation in Immortal, right? While they are Protect the Vex, they do have some catch potential. They've got Desecrated Ground, they've got the Death Fog, they got Forgotten Tombs. There's so much you can do to catch someone out that you may not even need to play the Protect the Vex game. Right. If you catch someone Desecrated Ground into a Heat Wave of Goggin, into a Tidal Prison, Riptide, all that of Amaranth, you don't really need the Vex to be there 100%. Team fights, I love Mortal's team comp.
Team fight wise, I would say Mortal has got a really good composition. They have kind of the beginning, the middle, and the end, which is what you really want for a team fight. They have all the different aspects of it there. Taking a quick look at loadouts, we have Desecrator going with the Armor, Defense Pen, and Warden. We have Renzo going with a Warden, Armor, and Health. Not unexpected at all there. A little bit of Warden. We get lots of Warden today. Lots of Warden today. Why is Warden just turning into the preferred loadout?
I feel like people just value that safety. Oh my God, STM is oh, this is gonna be a flank engage. There's a 5-man chain actually coming out from Otzi on Zalgus. This could be actually decent for BOB. They're turning this around. Koggen's the first one to fall. Vex leveling up his W first, trying to do % health damage. Desecrator blinking away with less than no health, and he goes down. This is actually turning into a great fight for BOB. That's 2 for 1 so far. The thrilling heroics into the chains of fate. Vex goes down 3 for 1. Oh my God, STM had the perfect flank, but they just did not quite have the damage to follow up on that Renzo's stun, that kinetic sculpture. They turned around, BOB turned around, was like, oh, you're here? 5-man chain, captivate slow. They had everything they need. BOB comes out 3 for 1 at the 1.5 minute mark.
The focus, the just unbelievable focus of BOB there, kept it together. They were surprised. I don't think anybody would expect for Soon TM to be right there.
No,
like that is not a place where you normally will ambush people from. So the focus, the discipline to be able to say, okay, you're here, that's fine. We're going to make you pay for it.
Yeah. And BOB, obviously not a team you want to give any advantage to. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, and let's see what they can do with this 3 for 1 lead that they've already got. STM...
Well, Tulsa's Canadian, so he'll actually take a kilometer.
I'll see you guys. But Vex is a shaper that needs to get to late game, and right now BOB is like, oh, okay, we'll take 3 kills. We only lost 1, but that's quite all right. Our jungler is still on a proper path. You see, they do have the armor buff warded there of the Mortal side, so it looks like McScrag's going to go ahead and counter jungle a little bit here and put Koggen potentially even further behind.
Absolutely. So we've got a double mage lane bottom lane, so a little bit of King of Masks and Zalgus bottom lane. That is a huge amount of lockdown. I mean, between Chains of Fate, Flourish Captivates, Flourish Endless Delights, there is a lot of CC potential in that bottom lane. What do you think about that, Brad?
Especially with 50's King of Mass play. You just saw him flourish there for pretty much like the first time in the game, and it is beautiful. Like you said, it's a thing of art. He plays King of Mass supremely well. I think right now, Desecrator and Amaranth just have to kind of play back. Up top lane, you see the Kinetic Sculpture comes out, landing on Flynn, the tankier target in that lane, so he's not going to take much damage. Volek finishing off the armor buff of the Mortal side is going to go ahead and retreat to his own jungle, so effective counter jungling already happening. And you see Koggen right now doing a small mushroom camp on top of a BOB ward. They know exactly where he is, and that's going to allow McScrag to run rampant in the enemy jungle, his own jungle. I mean, the jungle is his kingdom right now.
It absolutely is, but take a look at Koggen. already level 4. That just shows the clearing capability and potential of Kagan. He's a tanky shaper. All you gotta do is you throw down his sand. You throw down quicksand. Excuse me. Yes, you throw down quicksand. Pull the enemy. Pull the enemy.
We see Volek coming in for an invade here. They know Kagan's here. It's level 4 to level 4, but it looks like Tulse not quite in the area. But Flint is here. The ward is thrown down to give vision of the rush. The Thrilling Heroics actually just kind of making Kagan take a detour to not get stunned, and that's going to be nothing for either team except for just a little bit of a hey, how you doing? And that's the thing. Kagan, what just happened? He went to go take North Money Pigs, but he got bullied out right there, and now he's scared to be in his own jungle, and that's not where you want your jungler to be.
Absolutely, and that is one thing you want to make sure that you want to do against an enemy Kagan is actually get as far ahead of them as possible. Because like I said earlier, Kagan can farm fast, he can farm faster than most Shapers, and he can get ahead of Shapers very quickly.
There's that Flourish Captivate right there. Chains of Fate does come out. Landing on a Nick, and a few more auto attacks could do it. Can they land it? Oh, there it is. King of Mass picking it up with one last long-range auto attack. A little bit of skirmish going on in the top lane. You see the Jagged Volley coming out from Vex is going to go ahead and slow all enemies in an area, but Flynn tanky enough to really not care at this point. And McScrag doing his best Predator impression and taking down some Spear Well workers.
Well, you know, not just a Predator impression. Like, McScrag he's a veteran player. He understands the value of those Spirit Well workers, and he understands how important they are to your passive economy gain. So, really, really well played, really wise play from him. You know, that earlier play from King of Masks and Zalgus, just unbelievable coordination. Just shows why they've
played together a few times.
Yeah,
I would say.
You can say that. I mean, it shows why Otzi and 50 Shades are just two of the best players in the game. They play together well. They know these Shapers in and out, and not only that, they know each other in and out as far as playing together.
Yes, indeed. And you know, interestingly enough, Volek has done so much work in the enemy jungle by getting money pigs, by harassing Spirit Wells, by counter jungling. He's just now gotten his blue buff. That's a 5.5 to 6 minute blue buff, but it just shows there was no pressure. He wasn't afraid of the counter jungle. He knew where Kagan was. Some fantastic deep wards coming out from BOB to spot out where Kagan is pretty much at all times. Volek just now dinging level 6. Kagan a little bit behind him at level 5. So I mean, we could potentially see maybe another early Parasite. I mean, we saw it last game, but I don't think Volek is potentially the one to do it.
I don't think Volek is a solo Parasite at this early in the game, right? I don't know if he could actually do it later in the game. I mean, he might be able to, though.
Volek going to go ahead and take his armor buff right now. Is kind of sitting there this entire match. So the advantage that Volek has built already has been on the back of like only having one of his own buffs. That's scary. That's incredibly scary. He's going to be very close to level 7 at this point. He's going to go back, make a few purchases, come back to lane, and potentially look for some sweet, sweet ganks.
Speaking of sweet, sweet ganks, take a look at Levy. We're sitting right there, just
on a
waiting.
ward. Sitting on a ward.
Sitting on a ward.
BOB, absolutely fantastic warding this game. They've spotted out everything they needed to. They've seen Kagan. They've seen Vex. Yeah, Vex ganks. Not 100% sure on that particular Shaper to gank. Doesn't have a lot of CC. Comes out with a little bit of slow. Maybe some armor shred if he's able to land his skewer, his Q ability. His Grievous Wound is going to do a good amount of damage, but not yet. He's not there yet. He's only level 5. He didn't have his Splintering Spines, but you do see Midnight finally level 6 with that big haul. The Kinetic Sculpture comes out, stunning Tulse Ray. And now we'll see what happens. There are 4 members of STM not spotted out by any wards right now. Will they look for a play? The Insight Shell comes out from Varian, revealing nothing more than he could already see in those creeps and Renzo. The Thrilling Heroics comes out. Looks like they're going to probably push this wave and potentially recall or look. Yeah, Tulse maybe. I'm worried for him right now, to say the least.
He's getting a little bit aggressive, but Tulse is an experienced player. This is why he picked Varian, because he knows that if he's going to put himself in a dangerous position, he wants that out, right?
And here we go. This is going to be a Parasite started up here from BOB. They're 4 kills to 1 in the lead right now, and they are looking super strong. And this is a no contest from Soon TM. No. They're just like, take it. There's nothing we can do about it.
You know, going back to something you were saying earlier, Brad, you were talking about warding. Yeah. There's a saying amongst IMMR players, and that's deep wards win games. I mean, is that 100% true?
You know, obviously it's not 100% truth because deep wards don't mean you win the game, but they absolutely help. And we've seen some fantastic deep wards come out from BOB. Kagan actually coming in for a potential gank here. Tulse using that progress gate to get a little bit of extra distance from him, and they do have that raccoon ward in that southern brush, so they can see anyone coming. You got Might finished off on Desecrator there, going to build that into a Strife for Decay. You see the Vigor coming out from Rinzo, the Purity on Amaranth, so she's building a little bit more tankily. Vex actually finishing a pretty early Ambition. That is a fantastically kind of cost-effective item. I would call that that item a great value. Form from Kagan, he is level 7 with 1.5k Vim in his pocket. And then on the other side, you see Tulse also finishing off Ambition on his Varian. Pretty standard range carry build right there. But those Grievous Wounds, doing good, trading very, very well with Varian here. I really like to see that. But Ambition, obviously, the lower HP you have, the more life drain you get. So it's kind of a baiting factor, I would say.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, that does show kind of the built-in innate strength of Vex. You're really going to see that if he's able to get to late game. If he's even able to get to late game. That is the scary part, is that Varian does start scaling a lot earlier.
Oh, God, the Heat Wave comes out. The Progress Gate may not be enough to dodge the big haul, and he goes down just before he can fire the Chaos Shell right there. Great gank from STM to pick up a kill.
That was a really well-placed great haul from Kagan there. You know, Varian is very mobile, but his mobility does have his limits. I'm not quite sure if Tulsa had taken his blink or had used his blink at that point, but, you know, it's okay. It's just one kill, and I believe that Tulsa's probably ahead on farm at this point.
The first binding of the game actually goes in Soon TM's favor. Not something that a lot of people would have expected, but a roam from King of Mass, and Zaugus could potentially look for a kill here, but no, the Thrilling Heroics, Chains of Fate, and Great Rift all miss just a bit outside on that Rinzo.
Just a little bit outside indeed. Yes, that was right out of range, unfortunately. So 50 Shades of Alpha and Arbaris, OTC, 50 Shades and Arbaris all rotating top, saying, yep, you took our binding. We need to equalize this a little bit.
Oh, man. Just the bullying that is happening right now from Mixcrag onto Kagan. Kagan can't do anything, even in his own jungle. You see Volek now level 9, Kagan a little bit behind at level 8. Curse of Weakness comes down, landing on Rinzo, and Rinzo throws a kinetic sculpture of his own. Nothing's going to come of it just yet, but you do see Amaranth and Desecrator roaming up top lane. They are pinging out on the Volek like they want to try something, but the ward comes out from Zaugus. We'll spot that gank coming from a mile away, and it looks like Bob is going to be able to retreat back to their jungle, back to farming, and they are going to see a lane switch here. You see Varian down bottom now against that Desecrator Amaranth. It's kind of a smart move depending on what Desecrator and Amaranth are building as well. They know that Tulsa is already so far ahead that if Desecrator and Amaranth are scared and have started building magic resist, it's that dual magic damage lane,
yep.
Now it's ineffective. Now you're against a Varian. What the heck do you do, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, talking a little bit earlier about the team composition, and one thing I want to point out, LFDH kind of living up to their name. They have, I'd say, the stronger dive potential.
System.
Oh, excuse me, not LFDH. Sorry.
Wrong game. We're almost there. Midnight taking a ton of damage. Great haul over the wall. Will actually lock in Volek. The binding dive going a little bit poorly for BOB. The splintering spines from Vex is doing a ton of damage. 50 Shades of Alpha almost goes down to that title prison. Nicken wants to get that last shot, but the progress gate forward from Tulse will put down enough damage to secure that kill for Zaugus.
Just a little bit greedy there. Just a little bit greedy.
I mean, that all started with a great big haul from Kagan to go ahead and take Volek underneath the binding over the wall, right?
Yep.
He got chucked down and was like, all right, I might be going down. They may be looking for a binding dive. I'm going to have this fight on our own terms. I'm going to big haul over this wall, bring Volek under the binding, and they almost picked up 2 kills for the troubles, but not quite enough damage to finish off
this is
a
little
very
bit,
low Zaugus.
A little bit dangerous for Soon TM. OT does still have his ult. Looks like the Soon TM decided, you know what, probably a good idea for us to go back. Let's not risk getting sniped by final chapter from Zaugus. And it does look like BOB is going to take advantage of this this time. They're going to take this first tier 1 binding.
Again, it just shows, like I said earlier, you give them an inch, they take a mile. They took those early kills, they turned them into more kills. They took 1 binding. Soon TM responded in kind with a binding at about the 8 to 9 minute mark, but Bob is like, okay, we'll win a fight and we'll take 2 bindings, right? Yep. So every time the disadvantage is in the favor of STM, Bob is just trying to steamroll this game as much as possible.
So taking a look at Desecrator's items, he opted to go for 2 tier 2 items as opposed to going straight into the decay. He's got the aggression and the might right now. Renzo, not unexpected here, rushing straight into the prosperity, wants to get those stacks rolling as quickly as possible. Amaranth picking up a pestilence early on.
It's pretty standard. You see Mixcrag actually blitzing in on this Volek, does get stunned out by the kinetic sculpture as soon as it ends. Desecrator goes down in the back lines. In the meantime, Volek was just, I feel like he was just zoning. You know, he was just playing that front line. He was saying, look, your Desecrator's called out. I'm not going to let you help. I'm going to come in, I'm going to burn your Title Prison, your Connect Sculpture, your CC, and I'm going to let your Desecrator, and you're going to pretty much watch your Desecrator die.
Absolutely. Bob is going to take advantage of being up one man. They're going to take down a second, that's a second Tier 1 Parasite here. So that's going to give them a significant Vim lead. And you know what? I just got to say, look at the ward placement from Bob. Look at their ward placement. They were confident in taking that second Parasite. They knew they weren't going to have any contesting from Soon TM. So, you know, why not? Why not? These deep wards definitely helping them out right now.
That is going to be an 1858-minute Parasite when it respawns, but right now, being level 1, of course, it only gives that Vim bonus. It does not give you a buff just yet until it is stage 2 and 3. A Flourish Captivate locking down Amaranth. Enough time for Varian to get off 2 to 3 autos, and she's already chunked to about 3/4 of her health. Tulse just trying to do as much as possible to carry his team right now. And his team doing a great job of supporting him as well. Some great Chains of Fate, some great Captivates are coming out from the Mage players on BOB. Thrilling Heroics as well will lock down Kagan for enough time to get hit by a Great Rift and Chains of Fate. Volek split pushing a little bit, pushing that wave into that Tier 2 binding, and now it looks like he's going to come up and join his team after taking that small mushroom kill.
Arborist has just been on the spot. Johnny on the spot with his Thrilling Heroics. Just landing those stuns, doing an outstanding job with that. I mean, not just landing the stuns, but also getting that Tactician Vim in the process.
Why the heck not? If you're playing a Tactician, look for as many procs as you can. You know, some people are like, oh, laning phase is over, I don't need to look for Tactician procs, but hey, you can take them where you get them, right? And it'll just put you up even more so than you already were. 15 minutes of Spirit Wells do unlock. You're going to see BOB take full advantage of that. They're already pressuring this top lane. They're already sieging. I had to imagine that this is a very calculated move by them to say, we're going to siege as hard as possible around Tier 2 at around 15 minutes. As soon as the well comes up, let's go ahead and rotate and take it.
Absolutely, getting that economy advantage. I mean, they're already up 7-3. That's a 4-kill differential. They've got 2 Parasites. Now they've got 3 wells. Something tells me they're actually going to be going for a 4th Spirit Well right now. So just in case you're just now tuning in, you are watching the Northern Qualifier for the Race to the Gate Beta Tournament Series. This is Dawn Gate that's being played on screen right now. We are a brand new MOBA being developed by Waystone Games. That's us.
I really like this positioning here from Otzi and Arbra, staying over the wall, throwing their Chains of Fate and Thrilling Heroic underneath the binding. It's like, you know, we're not going to particularly dive you right now, but what are you going to do back to us? You have to deal with Tulse, who's sieging. You have to deal with Volek, who's taking a Spirit Well. There's so many threats right now from BOB. STM just don't seem to have an answer.
They definitely don't. Man, Otzi showing why he's such a good Zalgus player. He didn't even pause between the Great Rift and the Chains of Fate. In fact, it actually looked like he cast the Great Rift first, and then the Chains of Fate.
I know this is going to hit you. This is kind of like the cool guys don't look at explosions thing right there. He's going to throw stuff out and just let it hit you regardless of where you move. Right there, throwing them out practically simultaneously. McScrag getting stunned out with that Connect Sculpture down south of the binding. But, I mean, this is the game that BOB can play. They can just siege. They can just do this over and over again. But there is not... You can't ever count out a Vex.
No. 100% you cannot. And we're getting to the point where Vex might actually start getting dangerous. So we're going to take a look at the items. Speaking of Vex getting dangerous, he's a guy who scales with items extremely well. Loves to build haste. I would say Double Abolition is not an unheard of build for a mid to early game Vex. So let's take a look at Desecrator's items really quick. He's still got the might. He actually decided to rush straight into the destruction. So they're relying on his damage right there.
Prosperity from Renzo looks like what he goes back to buy with 1500 Vim. It is going to be a Purity. Looking at Amaranth, she does still have that Petulance and Aggression. Ambition, Pain, it's very, very standard so far for as far as range carries are concerned. But Vex will eventually outscale Varian.
He will eventually indeed. Varian, still a very strong late game shaper. He does have that built-in haste steroid. His attack speed will go up considerably after he activates abilities, so you can't discount him. But he is one full legendary item ahead of Vex right now with the potency.
Resonance,
excuse me, Resonance.
Very, very strong, especially, you know, if you're starting to get fed as a range carry, oh my god, Thrilling Heroics, Chains of Fate, Great Rift, Kagan, supposedly the front line, right, taken down to a half HP underneath his own binding. That is not a good look for Soon TM right now. And this right here is a 4-man siege. Tulse is like, you guys got this. I'm going to take my own blue buff. I'll come back, join you guys in a bit, or potentially even split push up top lane.
Bob is not going to be surprised today from the jungle up above. They have that thoroughly warded. STM does look like they're trying to position for an engage right now. What do they need to do? Oh,
the blink. Rinzo getting point blank. The big haul not quite coming out just yet. But, I mean, this is still a decent fight for BOB. They pick up 1 kill. Amaranth falling very, very low. The auto attack not quite enough to do it. Thrilling Heroics does not hit her. Gatsby is the only one that gets stunned right there. Oh, man, but here is Tulse. He has a lot of tasty targets coming in. Will he be able to make a play behind this enemy binding? He has the Resonance, the Ambition, the Pain. Needs a few auto attacks. Does get stunned out by Kinetic Culture, but an immediate Dispel. But Desecrator ground. He does blink away from the Chaos Shell, comes backwards. The Desecrator blinks for it. The auto attacks, he's trying to kite that Grievous Wound, not quite enough, but a blink from Vex will finally take him down. But he may pay for it with his own life. The Jagged Volley slowing not quite enough for him to get out. An aggressive play by Tulse. Only nets 1 kill. An aggressive play from Otzi. Nets him in another kill. A great blink there. Will pick up that kill onto Rinzo. And wow. For a fight that started 4v5 in the advantage of STM, you wouldn't think that, considering they only got 1 kill out of that.
You know, that was very impressive. I would say, especially from Tulse right there. The mechanics that he showed in the pressure of having a Desecrator right in your face, that's not easy. I mean, Desecrator can silence you, he can knock you up, he can root you, he can slow your attack speed, movement speed. Like, it's a little bit scary. So, you know, Tulse showing mechanics, burned down Desecrator, responded to the Vex coming up, and it's going to result in Bob being up, taking a 3-for-1, and now taking a Stage 2 Parasite. That Parasite will be back up in about 25 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh man, that was a great fight from BOB. It looked like a great fight for STM, but they turned that immediately. Quicksand comes out. Otzi's going to have some help from Volek here. Kogan goes a little bit too ham. Looks like he doesn't decide to. The buddy system from Volek is actually going to scare that big old Sand Raider away, and Otzi's going to be able to walk away and live to fight another day. They do have Stage 2 Parasite now, so they not only got the Vim, but they also got the buff. What do you think that's going to do for their team fights? I mean, it was already been an explosive game.
Well, it's going to definitely make them, I think, a lot more aggressive and a lot more willing to stay engaged a little bit longer than they would otherwise. I mean, the Parasite buff, power, health regen. Pretty significant, especially at this stage of the game, where you're not getting a whole lot of that scaling from items just yet.
Absolutely. The Spirit Well is going to be taken by the Mortal side. That well has been ticking for about 6 minutes, because that's the well that BOB did take right about the 15-minute mark as soon as they were open while they were sieging that top Tier 2 binding. Looks like BOB is going to ping this bot Tier 2 binding. It's already about a quarter HP. They smell the blood in the water, and they want to go ahead and take down this binding as soon as they can. You see Volek and Arborus on that Flynn are going to be walking down south, start this siege up post-haste.
Absolutely.
All wells are, 3 wells are in favor of BOB, with that 1 just now being taken by STM. At least it's going to be locked for the next few minutes, right?
It should be locked for a few more minutes. Bob making sure that they have vision above them. Ooh, 50 Shades in a very dangerous place.
Oh my god, over the wall. Otzi absolutely destroys Amaranth. Rinzo goes down. Kogan's trying to do what he can underneath this binding, but it is for nothing. He falls. The binding falls.
Oh.
Vex falls. Desecrator's the last man standing. When I said explosive team fights, that is exactly what I meant from BOB.
What a final chapter from Otzi right there. He just absolutely destroyed the Mortal team there.
Oh my, the chains into the Great Rift, into the final chapter. He knew his damage. He knew exactly what he could do. Xano goes down in his own locus. 10 seconds until the Amaranth is back up. BOB takes down 1 core. They're looking for a 2nd core. That Tier 3 and Tier 2 binding are still up in the top lane, so they're going to have to walk all the way around the Guardian if they want to get out of here. But if they decide to turn their aggression onto Amaranth, looks like Kogan's up now. Vex is going to be up now. Rinzo's up now. I hope they don't get too greedy here, and I hope they can, you know, just kind of not bite off more than they can chew.
Now, like you said, the Parasite buff is no longer on them, so they don't have that regen. They're not going to have this quite as much sustain as they would like to stick around, or maybe
right on top of a ward, no big deal.
No big
just
deal.
100% standing on top of a ward from STM. This bait should not work out. I say should not because crazier things have happened, but STM in full vision of 4 members of BOB right now, and now 5. Make that 5 members. And they're going to try to go in the finest hour from Arborus is going to be popped, and they melt down Kogan faster than he can get off a big haul. But Vex Grievous Wound, Splintering Spines, absolutely wrecking B.O.B., but the Great Rift and Captivate takes him down. 50 Shades of Alpha is now dominating. And Tulse looking for some aggressive plays here. He has the ambition. The lower he gets, 50 Shades may go down the, the bubble. Tidal Prison does take him down. The Kinetic Sculpture comes out. But, Amaranth goes down. These Chains of Fate from Zalgus are absolutely on point, and they are winning B.O.B. this game 100%.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and call it right now, Otzi Totsi for MVP. His Chains of Fate and Great Rift combos have just been utterly
an aggressive blink from Gatsby does actually take down the Zalgus between himself and the Desecrator. Thrilling Heroics comes down, landing Desecrator. This tier 3 binding is still up. Arborist has next to nowhere to run. He's going to have to take the long way back down to bot lane. The Forgotten Tombs, the Desecrator Ground will lock him up. He does get silenced after the Thrilling Heroics cast. This is Major Crater, but Tulse is here to help his Buglord friend, but he does not have Progress Gate now. He is stuck between a Kai and Desecrator. An amazing blink, but the Big Haul will pick him up. He takes down one. Can he take down two? No, it's only 1 for 1. Arborist might go down. The Thrilling Heroics comes down. The Rebirth is procced. Arborist is running for his bug life. An incredible blink from Tulse nets him 1 for 1 in that exchange.
Oh, man. Levy coming in at just the right time on Vex. It's the only thing, I would say, the only thing that saved his life.
That was an incredible play. I can't even get over that. Tulse, you know, blowing his Progress Gate to get over the wall to try to help Flynn.
Yeah.
Once you're done, it's roughly like a 12 to 14 second cooldown.
Yeah.
He is stuck there unless he has the blink. And
he had the blink.
Instead of blinking back out over the wall, he blinks incredibly aggressively over the Desecrator, Forgotten Tombs, and Desecrator Ground and picks up a kill while costing him his life. But as they say, hashtag worth, and I think that was just a great value.
That was indeed a great value. $9.99 at least.
Right. Desecrator building that Decay, Destruction, and Force. You have Prosperity and Devotion coming out from Rinzo. Petulance and Destruction from Amaranth. Ambition, Pain, and Ruin now from Vex. Vex is getting to the point. He's getting to the point where he's scary.
Ruin on Vex is scary. Like, you do not want him to get, say, something like a finesse or something like that to follow that up. He's going to start to get even scarier soon if you keep letting him scale. Bob looking to lock down this tier 3 Parasite. This is going to give them the Striders that they need to push the waves in. It's going to give them that buff with the HP and the power buff. And it's going to give them a little bit more money because, you know, why not?
Why the heck not?
Why the heck not? Up 21 to 8. They've already got a significant lead, though. Taking a look at Tulsa's items, not altogether unexpected. This is exactly what you would expect from him at this point in the game. So.
Oh, man, you see the Resolve, Ambition, Valor, and Decay from Volek. 21 kills to 8 kills, 54 Spirit Workers to 34. They have just about every binding down for Soon TM right about now. STM only with 1 binding. Finest Hour is popped. So they're trying to chase down the members of STM, but they are in their own base. They do have the Guardian fighting with them. This is the last core. The Guardian no longer has any abilities aside from his basic auto attacks. This could be a fight that STM could potentially win. A Riptide comes out, knocking up 3 members, followed by the Masterpiece from Renzo, also knocking up 3 members. But Tulse is absolutely obliterating the backline of STM. Final chapter does hit him to leave it, but he may not go down. Thrilling Heroics does take him down underneath his own Locust, and B.O.B. gonna focus down the Guardian, finish this game, take the best of 1, and move on to tomorrow to face Rare Elixir EU in the semifinals.
Wow, what a game from Tulse and Otzi there. I mean, what else can you say? Otzi spot on with all of his spells. That final chapter, that final